Hello everyone, it's NoirPhoenix here. Today we're going to be doing another video in Screeps for my beginner guide. Last episode we managed to get repairing, upgrading, and I believe, did we get upgrading working last episode? I think that might have been the episode before. But either way, we've got building and repairing working, as you can see in here. However, before we work onto the main part of the video, I just wanted to try something, because I believe I have a solution to the issue with them not going to the controller when building. My idea is to get the creeps, empty half of the inventory into building or repairing, and then do the other half into the controller. So that shouldn't be that hard to do. Let's just open up the worker script. So to get the repairing and building to creeps to only deposit half of them, we just need to add an extra condition. So after the energy doesn't equal undefined for the repairing one, well, oh no, that's the energy one. If you wanted to, you could also do the energy, but I think energy is quite important, so we'll just do the repairing and building. So after repair structures doesn't equal undefined, we'll add another and then we'll check the capacity of the creep by doing creep.carry is greater or equal to oh no, creep.carry.energy, sorry. Creep.carry.energy is equal or greater to creep.carry capacity. Can't spell today. Divided by 2. There we go. So what this is doing is checking if the creep's energy that they're currently holding is greater than their carry capacity, well, half their carry capacity. And if it is, then, and it's needs to repair, it will go do that task. And then we'll also copy this and paste it for each of the other ones, like so. And that should work, in theory. Hopefully. Oh, I just realised, I think I know why that's not working. I think carry capacity is its own thing. So that should be it. Believe it was just a typo. I mean, they're heading back now, which would make sense considering they've got over half. Yeah, it's just a simple fix, but it just means that the room controller is still getting attention. Because that was the issue we had last time, where yes, we have building repairing working, but then as long as there's something to repair and something to build, then the room controller is not getting any attention, and therefore eventually you'll just lose control of the room, which is not ideal really. So we'll watch this guy here. 30 energy, 25 energy, and they're heading back. Yeah, that's working. Brilliant. Cool. So now we can get back to the main focus of this video, which is to get container mining working. Sorry. So to do this, I want to create a new role. I'll call it miner. Role it miner. Get rid of the top bit. And this script should be relatively easy. So just like normal, we start off with a run function, pass in the creep, open it up. However, the differences with this is we need to use the memory feature a bit more with this. We're going to assign a container to the miner. So to do that, I'm going to start off by creating a function above all this and call it create memory. Oh no, yeah, we'll call it create memory. Pass in the creep again, and then we'll do an if condition to check if it has a container value already in it. If not, then it'll create it. So we can do that by getting creep.memory .container is equal to undefined. So if it doesn't have a container value, then it'll create it. So to do this, we want to To do this, we want to iterate for all our minors. So we can do that now by using a filter function. Const minors equals _filter game.creeps, and then comma, brackets, C, and then the arrow. And then we want to check if one, the memory.roll is equal to a minor, and what it's iterating is inside the creep's room. So, and creep c.room is equal to creep.room. There we go. Oh no, we don't need the funny things there. That should be it. Terminate it. And then we want to iterate through all. Oh yeah, we also need to get all the containers. So const containers equals _filter. Whilst I'm doing that, actually, I might create some containers just so it's done. Just so they're doing something whilst. Yes. So const containers. I'm actually also going to change the priority to these containers. Bear it back. Alright, there we go. I just changed the priority to container, so that should get done quicker soon. So containers. Filter. Yep, same thing. Game.structures C, where C. Oh no, not C. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just a variable, but it just makes more sense. Where s.room is equal to creep.room, and s.structure type is equal to structure, and it's got container. Cool. Now we want to iterate for all the containers and then iterate for all the minors. So for const container index in containers, and then for const minor index, I'll just do in minors. Then if I'll just create a variable here, const minor equals minors minor index. If we also need to create a found value up here. Var found equals false. If minor dot memory dot what do we call the variable? Container. Dot container is equal to containers container index. So we're getting access to all the containers, and this is just getting the actual container value. And then we'll, since the container is going to be an ID, we'll compare each ID. So then found equals true. There we go. And I might actually break out of this loop if it's found. There's no point running anymore if it's found. Cool. And then here, underneath it, if found, if no minor has the container index, then it will apply it to this creep. So if found is equal to false, then we want to change the value by getting the container value. So creep.memory.container is equal to containers container index dot ID. Sweet. Awesome. So that should be it for the minor in terms of memory. So it's checking if the container, if the creep has a container value inside its memory. If it doesn't, it's going to create it, but first it's going to check, it's going to get all the miners and then get all the containers, and it's going to iterate through all the containers whilst also iterating for the miners to compare if the miner's container is the same as this container. If it is, then it will return found, which means this won't run. However, if found is false, then it's going to give the current creep that container. And one thing I've forgotten to do actually is break out of this. There we go. Just so it doesn't iterate for any more. And there we go. So that's done. We also need to call that actually. Create memory creep. Awesome. So here's where the main code comes in for the miner. So we want. This probably isn't the most efficient way of doing it, but this is how I usually do it. We now want to get access to all the sources inside the function. So const sources equals creep. Actually, we're going to just do source equals creep dot pulls dot find closest by range, and then find sources. Now, unlike the normal workers, we just want to use find sources. It doesn't matter if it's found the source which is empty, because it's just going to be sitting on a container anyway, the miner is. Yeah, so now that we've got the source, we now need to simply, this is going to be the hardest part, creep dot move to source, and then creep dot harvest source. And there we go, the miner code is done. Believe it or not. We just need to set everything up now. So we'll copy this, const worker, and then get miner. By the way, before I do any more, actually I'll just finish this off. Roll.miner. Before we do any more, the reason we're not using the const is working variable is because, as of right now, the miner is not going to have any carry components. It's just going to have move and work, and the reason for that is because if it doesn't have any carry components and it's mining, all the resources it gathers is going to be dropped, and the containers pick up anything that's dropped right above it. And the containers can, I believe it's 2,000. Yeah, it is. They can carry 2,000 energy. So then these workers will program to harvest that energy. It will actually just pick up the energy, and it's a lot more effective because then you don't have workers queuing up to then harvest the resource. Also, you can get miners which are very fast to harvest the resource at super speeds, and it's cheaper as well. Right, let's get back to it. So const max workers, we don't need that because we're just going to make a miner for each container. That's fine. Oh, we'll also, just so we don't forget, we'll get this working. Else if, this is just what's going to be calling the miner code. We'll check if the row is a miner. If it is, then we'll call the miner code and pass in the creep value. That's iterating through the spawns. We'll copy this and we'll simply get it for containers. Num of containers, game.structures. We'll change that to s for convenience. S dot room is equal to spawn.room and s.structure type. S.structure type is equal to structure underscore container. There we go. And then underneath this, else if num of, hang on, we might actually need to get num of miners. Yeah, we will actually. We'll copy this one again. We'll just change the role. Cool. So if num of miners, change this as well, keep forgetting. Number of miners is less than number of containers, then it will simply, oh yeah, we need to get this naming function as well. I might turn that into a function just so it's less space. We'll just set this to miner. We can get rid of this carry component, and yeah, we should just be able to add another work component in there as well. We need at least one move so it can get to the point. 300 energy. Yeah, that's the most we can do at the moment. Is working false. We don't even need that. We need the home value. We need the raw value. Yeah, there we go. And then what I'm gonna do quickly, just to make things look nicer, more nice. I'll cut that out, the naming part of workers, and I'll create a function above here. Function get name, and we'll pass in the role. Fix everything up. Fries, and then max role, we'll call that, and then change everything up. Role index, and then number of workers. What? Oh, okay. And we'll pass in an array, basically, num of role. Worker index, role index. Just changing everything over really. Num of role, and then we'll get this. We'll get rid of that, and then we'll concatenate. So wait, what was it like before? Yeah, okay. So dot concat, and now we need to get to role needed. Sweet. Yeah, and then we can return a name. Cool. And then const success name. We can then get, yeah, cool. So get name. So it wants the role needed. So we'll say worker. And then max role. What have I done for that? Max workers, I think it's called. And then num of workers. And then if I do the same for the other one. And what this is doing, it's just calling. It's calling this function, and the return just means it's returning the value. So basically, like we had before, it's just a name. It's just going to be returning the name value into this parameter area. So minor max num of containers is the max, and then num of minors. There we go. So in theory, oh yeah, okay. It's just waiting on these containers. I'll be back when they're done. I'll try and speed it up. Alright, we've done the code for the miner, and we should have set it all up, I believe. Yeah, looks like it. So I'm gonna wait until these containers are done, and then I'll come back when hopefully it'll begin creating them, which will be pretty cool. Alright, see you then. Oh, actually, I just realised, I believe we need to get them to go towards the containers, the workers. So we'll quickly do that now. So locate sources. So in the worker code, if you go to the function where we create the locate sources, we'll work here. So this is going to be an else, the harvest source bit. So I'll just quickly change that now. So if oh no, we need to get the containers first as well. So const containers equals creep dot room dot find closest by path. Oh no, range it'll be good. Find closest by range. Find structures because containers don't have owners. Filter S and then the arrow like so. And then we need to make sure it's a container, so we'll do structure underscore container. And we also need to make sure that the container has energy in it, otherwise they're just going to end up sitting there. So s dot store dot energy. Containers and storages, and I think another structure is a bit like it, but you have to do s dot store instead of s dot energy because it can hold multiple resources. Containers can. So s dot store is greater than 0, and we'll see if we can get it so if it's greater than creep dot carry capacity, possibly. Just so they're not just standing there, maybe. Yeah, maybe. It's greater than carry capacity. Yeah. Oh no, that was a silly thing. And creep. No, sorry. And s.store.energy is greater or equal to creep.carry capacity divided by 2. Or do we want, I don't know, because that's still going to get them to hover around. The idea is we don't want them just to stand around. Yeah, so you know what? We'll just do is greater or equal to. So then they're not hovering around that point then. There we go. So if it has energy and it's greater or equal to creep.carry capacity. So I suppose we don't need this bit then actually. Just, yeah, like that. So, we got an error. Line 8. It's because the if statement's empty. Quickly fix that. There we go. If. Oh, it's because of the else statement as well. Okay. So this will be quick then. If containers doesn't equal undefined, and creep.withdraw, that's the function for taking energy from containers. Containers is equal to error not in range, and actually we've got to make sure it's only picking up energy, so we've got to add a comma and then resource energy. Then creep.move to containers. Sweet. So that should get that working. Again. Why is it not working? Line 9. Is it because I'm a silly Billy? I'm just going to rewrite this quickly, just in case I made a mistake. If containers doesn't equal undefined. Is that working on its own? What's it saying? We'll get rid of that. Ah, that's another function. Okay, that's interesting. So it's something to do with this. I don't believe I changed this. Oh, you know what? We'll just rewrite it anyway. What's that error saying though? Just quickly iron that out. Creep.room not find close by range. And what line is that? Line 6. Ah, I see. We want for lines the container code. It's got to be creep.pos. It can't find close by range by a room. And what now? Energy of undefined. I swear I didn't change any of this. Oh, it's because I'm silly. S.store.energy is greater or equal to. Cannot read property energy of undefined. And it's because I haven't defined structure type here. So s.structure type is equal to that. There we go. So that should be all those errors, right? No. Apparently spawn is undefined. Where do I write spawn? Main 18. I see. I'm passing the spawn then. Oh, okay. So where here? Ah, okay, here. So I put another parameter and we'll just pass in the spawn. Just to be safe. Otherwise it won't work. Cool, so that's all patched. Let's get back to this then. So, if found is true, no, so we're looking at the wrong function there. So, if containers doesn't equal undefined and containers.withdraw containers resource energy is equal to error not in range, then creep dot move to containers, right? Else creep dot, oh no, else if creep if source doesn't equal undefined and creep dot harvest source is equal to error not in range creep dot move to source, right? Yep, it's all working again. And that reminds me, I want to do something else. Just to be more efficient, if a creep dies and they have energy on them, as of right now, it's not going to do anything. However, you can actually get the creeps to pick up energy that's dropped on the floor, so you're not wasting energy then. So to do that is also quite simple. Or did we do it already? I can't remember. No, I don't think we did do it. So to do that, we're just looking for energy on the floor. So, but what I want to do is make sure it's within like 5 tiles from the creep, because if it's only a little amount, you don't want the creeps moving all the way across the room just for like 10 energy. So we're going to do it within 5 tiles. So to do that, const dropped energy equals creep dot paused find in range find dropped resources filter e, where e dot resource, I think it's lowercase, yeah, there we go, is equal to resource energy. There we go. I think that's it. It's within, oh yeah, we also need to add a parameter. So find in range, add a comment in between them both, and what in here I'll just put in 5. You can put whatever you want. I prefer 5. Cool, and then end it. And we'll actually make this the highest priority, because if it's within 5 tiles, then it's not really a problem. If dropped energy dot length is greater than 0, and creep dot pick up, that's the function for picking up resources on the floor, and creep dot pick up dropped energy 0, and then resource, just so it's only picking up energy. If you don't have this, I believe I'll just pick up everything inside the creep. Well, if it had like, let's say, what's that, hydrogen on it, and you write resource energy, it will only pick up resource energy. However, if you don't have this, and the creep had hydrogen and energy, I believe it will pick up both of them. But for now, we just want resource energy is equal to error not in range, and then creep dot move to dropped energy 0. Sweet. And that's just finding the first thing in the array. And the reason we're not doing find closest in range by whatever is because it's only within 5 tiles, so it's just more performant really. Cool. I'll actually turn this into an else if as well. How's our population doing? We've only got 1. That is not good. Alright, so I'll be back when everything is done. I'll see you then. Alright, I'm back again, sorry. I've just realised that for some reason it's returning worker 1, which it shouldn't, this function in the main script. So I'm just going to look at it quickly. Max roll +1. I need to be quick. well, relatively quick. We do have enough energy in spawn to fix if stuff does go wrong. Found equals true. So if found equals true, let's try breaking out of it. What's that do? No, I didn't think it'd do anything. Ah, silly me. I know what's gone wrong. It's because I haven't changed this. So, to do that, it's just like last time. Well, no. So to fix this, we'll just copy this. And simply paste it here. Like so. And in theory, I think I got too many. Yeah, it's creating more. Good. Alright, fixed the population issue. That's good. So that function's working properly now. Sorry about that, I wish I saw that before. Alright, once again, I'll see you when it's done. Hopefully there's no more errors. Alright, the container is almost done. As you can see, I spawned in quite a few more creeps. It's almost done. A few more hits. And there we go. And it's going to spawn it in. Should do. It's got enough energy. 300. Okay, for some reason, number containers is returning this when I try and print it out. So what I'm going to try and do instead is change that function up a bit. That variable, I should say. Number of containers. And what we'll do is do this method instead. So spawn.room.find find structures, where s, it's basically the same really. S.room is equal to spawn.room and s.structure type is equal to structure container. If we just comment this bit out, is that going to print out anything good? Yes, it is, which is a good sign. But for some reason now, it's not spawning in the miner, which is not handy. What are they doing to this? Healing it up. Okay, fair enough. So it's finding the structures now. It's just I see what the issue is. It's because with the miner, if I just put this back in, just so it's just like your guys' code. Put that back in. Make sure that's got that. It is because number of containers is it's an array. We need to pass in the length. So that should be it. Yeah, it's creating it now. Awesome. So we've now got miners. I'll quickly show you how they operate. If it moves, which I believe it is, yeah. And then so it looks like it's going after this one. It's going to wait for this creep to move out of the way though, I believe. Or he's just going to mine there, which it shouldn't do. Interesting. Oh, silly error in miner code. Okay, it's because we're not doing any validation there. So it moved to. Well, it's not validation. It's really validation. We just need it to move to the container instead of the source. So here, so where we write creep.move to, you want to write game dot get get object by ID, and then you just want to pass in the ID of the container, and we've already set that up here. So creep.memory.container or containers. Which one is it? Container. So now, if there's room, which it isn't at the moment, hopefully, assuming that it does have, in fact, a thing, which he doesn't, which is interesting. Oh, I think it's going to be similar to what happened before. So we need to do const containers equals creep.room.find, find structures, filter s arrow, where s.structure type is equal to structure underscore container. Containers. Possibly? Is that create memory in them now? No. Console.log containers. Yeah, it's finding the containers. What about miners? 7 miners, that's not true, is it? Apparently it is true. Oh my gosh. Right. That's not what we want. I suppose we don't need this part of it. Oh, I see. It's because we haven't had a filter here. That makes sense. Right? No. Why? Okay. So, me and my silly mistakes, honestly. And then console.log.length. I bet that was it. It's just me being silly as usual. 7. Why does it say 7 there? No containers. Okay. At least there's a reason behind my madness. Clearly. Still says 7. Oh, that's probably printing out in the minor code, right? Yeah, it's counting up all the minors. Well, we can get rid of all these minors now because they're not necessary. Is that a minor? Well, we've got a minor. They're just mining though. They don't have anything to them. Everything's going a bit chaotic. So containers. Can we print out containers now? Just to double check, containers.length. Because that is the only thing printing it now, isn't it? It's printing out 1, which is good. Progress. So for each container, I still don't understand why. Is this running now? Sorry guys, this is longer video than I first anticipated. Right. So is that saying that some of them do have memory now? No. Hang on. Let's get rid of some of these creep. You know what? Let's just do this. Creep memory. 26? Oh, that reminds me. Something else we want to do, guys, is we want to clear the memory after each group dies. That's very easy to do. For each game.creeps. Right at the top of this function in the main script, we'll iterate through the memory. So for memory. Sorry, for const creep index in memory dot creeps. If game.creeps creep index is equal to undefined, so if that creep is not found in the actual game, then delete memory.creeps creep index. There we go. Very simple, but that should clear. Yep. Right, so we've only got 1 miner now. Still not got that. How bizarre. Why is it not finding it? And I found out why. It's because I believe it's because I put 2 equals there for some reason, because I'm a doofus. And there we go, it's now moving. Phew. Okay, we've got it working, guys. And now it's just sitting on top of that container. Good, I'm happy we've figured out that problem. It was a long journey. Loads of silly mistakes in this video. I apologise for that. Yes, it should be good though. It should all be good. So that's mining, or it should be mining. What's gone wrong? Containers.withdraw is not a function. 10. It should be creep.withdraw. Which one? Roll worker 10. Yeah. Alright, so this is meant to be creep.withdraw. Okay, there we go. So that's mining that. It's got 80 in it so far. And then what they should do is when they're looking for energy, they're looking for this at the moment because there's 256 energy. So they're going to pick up this, so that's working, which is good. They should also loot from the container. Alright, I think I'm going to end the video there, guys. It's been a long journey. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope the video is not too long for you guys. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video. We should be covering wall repairing, which will be quite fun. Alright, I'll see you then. Bye.